as the frigid grass of the graveyard crunches underfoot. A mournful song sounds in your ears as the Banshee approaches. It tugs at your heartstrings in a very literal way, pulling against the natural rhythm as terror starts to rise and her grief threatens to overwhelm you. Perhaps you might encounter a Banshee in service to the philandering Death Knight that caused her existence, lingering by a pool of water where they drown themselves, or in the tomb of a long-dead lover. Regardless of where you find them, their broad selection of immunities and resistances make them much tougher to kill than their hit points and armor class might suggest. Their weaknesses are actually those things against which they are not strong. In this case, the stunned condition, or radiant or force damage. But at CR4, only certain classes are going to regularly stomp them if encountered at an appropriate level. Their Detect Life ability can actually be kind of a pain because it means that you should never be able to surprise a Banshee, but that you also need to remember about them when the group is not really anywhere near to them. Making a note in rooms in your dungeon that are close enough to be detected is a great way to help yourself with this, because the Banshee should always be the one who decides when she's going to attack, and that means you need to figure out what it is that triggers her ire against the living. The Incorporeal Movement trait means that walls and tightly packed spaces are a Banshee's best friend for landing at her CR. It's almost always better to provoke opportunity attacks than to end in plain sight of your enemies, even if you have to end inside a solid object and take force damage. It will frustrate your players, but sometimes that's a good thing if used in moderation. The Banshee's melee attack is very low in damage for their challenge rating, but it will still put some pressure on. Their Horrify ability is best used on melee targets directly before they provoke that opportunity attack to peace out, or if you can't get out of reach for some reason, then on whoever is the most dangerous opponent. Determining when to use a Banshee's Wail is the hardest part of using this monster. If they're likely to last a few rounds, then you're better off waiting until your opponents are at least bloodied before you break out the song and try to bring them down to unconsciousness. Unless there are multiple Banshees, at which point wailing round after round after round, one at a time, is probably the better way of putting on consistent, fearful damage. Just burn them all and converge on whoever is weakest to finish them off with melee attacks. Their ideal battlefield involves lots of closely connected rooms, or even better, hard to enter hollow spaces that they can hide inside. Graveyards filled with mausoleums give the classic vibe, but honestly, castles and dungeons fit really well too. Banshees aren't exactly known for playing well with others, particularly the living, so other undead or other Banshees are the most natural allies, especially other life hunters like wights or wraiths. About the only living creatures that might make sense as allies to the Banshee would be powerful clerics or necromancers that can keep the Banshee under control, even if